Welcome to today's startup update for November 16th. Today is week 3 that we're going to be involved in building a legal SaaS, a software as a service, designed at helping criminal defense attorneys in South Florida, which is our first target market, get through government documents much quicker. Basically, the business on the back of an envelope is really simple. Defense attorneys generally have a very difficult time sourcing documents from government agencies, problem number 1. And number 2, when they get these documents, sometimes they're 1,000 pages long and you actually have to go through the table of contents, read what page or section it's on, and then dive through and read paragraphs upon paragraphs to write a few notes to arrive at the conclusion that, maybe one sentence or 2 sentences are the ones that are important for your case. What is our business doing? We are sourcing those documents from government agencies, so we already have them in the database, meaning you don't have to fight through the red tape to try and get them. Sometimes that red tape lasts 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in our experience. And then when you have the documents, you can natural language query, you can search for the answer to what are the arrest procedures for City of Miami Police Department, or what was the case that was last ruled on about the arrest procedures for Miami Police Department. Can you pull that up? And so the PDF will naturally come to the top with citations, and it'll make everybody's life easier and better. And that's why attorneys are want to pay, because if you're making $400 or $500 an hour as an attorney and you're saving 30 minutes every time that you search on our product, you could save 4 or 5 hours a week, which turns out to be a few $1,000s a week. That's why we get paid, and that's why we're going to go through what our updates were this week, because we are very close to launching. But the best part is we found a massive customer that we were not aware of that probably is worth $1 million a year. That's right, $1 million in ARR. And I'm going to go through that in just a second, because at the beginning, we were focused on private attorneys. Who are these people? Who are private attorneys? Okay. Private attorneys are the guys that when you Google search, they're like Johnson & Johnson. Defense attorneys at your disposal, or did you get charged with a DUI? These types of guys will just literally represent people for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, $100,000 depending on your crime. And they will go to court for you, and they'll do everything. They'll do the deep research. They are literally there to help you get out of jail or to get you out of a legal problem that's criminal in nature, right? They range from DUIs to anything else. But when you don't have that kind of money, right, you're socioeconomically challenged, you get a state defender, right? Like the state provides you with a defender who has 65, 85 cases going on at once. They might meet you that day in court. They may not know anything about you, but you're getting some representation. Now, the beauty is that when we were focusing on the business, we were thinking that private attorneys were the focus, but we totally disregarded the public defenders because we thought that they would not have the budget. But what we did was we looked into the Florida statutes, right? The Florida laws, and there is plenty of budget for this type of software as long as it provides value. So let's talk about this new customer, which is the public defender's office, that literally is going to unlock $1 million in revenue for the company, which means that if we get this customer, this is a very valuable company. And I'm very excited to talk about it. So the public agency, the state defender, right, has about 400 people in just Miami-Dade alone. So if we look at our user base, when we first started, it was private users, about 1,000 criminal defense attorneys in Miami-Dade County, right? That's a pretty big market. And we were counting on 30% of them who are the top tier defenders, right? The guys that are big players, they've been around for a long time, they got big names. These guys are not cost sensitive. If they get a tool that works, they'll buy it, not think about it. They'll use it, they'll be lifetime users. So we were thinking, okay, 30% of these lawyers here, the ones that are all doing defense work in these counties, are gonna be our customers. So if you take what's available in Miami, Broward, and Palm Beach, you'll see it's about 2,100 attorneys. Top 30% is about 700 attorneys, right? This was gonna be the total available market for us. But what we realized when we did the research is that state attorneys are massive in number. And these add a significant increase to our total available market, because when you calculate all of these, it's roughly about 870 attorneys in the state of Florida in these counties. And so it basically doubles our total available market. Now, the cool thing about monetizing the public agencies is that when you look in the Florida laws, if there is a software that helps these attorneys do their job, they have the budgeting to pay for it. So we're good. They have the money, which is an assumption that I earlier made that they didn't have the budget for it. So I was corrected. Good. But now the best part is that when we looked further into the laws, there are 3 things that really get juicy about this customer. Number 1, they have the budget. So this is good. We can get paid if we show enough value to the state attorney's office. Number 2, they have so many cases that any improvement that helps them with each case is almost a guarantee that they're going to sign up for it. But number 3 is that they have legislation that literally allows them to pay upfront. So what is that legislation? In the state of Florida, whatever's better for the state is the payment terms that the agency can take on with the provider, us. So let's say we give a 40% discount to the public defender's office for paying month to month, right? They just pay us for all the attorney seats that they have. That's a great contract every month. What if we were to give them a 45% discount for paying up front? Well, that paying up front does serve the state of Florida a huge benefit, and it is better for the state of Florida. So by providing an extra 5% discount, we can get paid up front. And if we do the math on just this, this is worth about $1 million in ARR a year to us. This is huge because this was a profit center that we did not see, but more than anything, because we get paid up front, now we have an established contract with the state agency, which is very valuable in terms of being either acquired by another company or selling the company itself. So huge benefit, huge unlock, literally giving them an enterprise discount changes our business completely. Number 2, so now that we've covered the monetization or the features. So we think we're going to launch version 1 in 14 days. We're currently migrating the app from the developer's local computer to DigitalOcean, where the little servers are, right, into a cloud server. And we think that the app right now is about 70% done. The last 30% that needs to be done will be done in the last 2 weeks, which is 14 days. And that's when you'll see the full app being available at www.flawfinder.ai. Right now, we have the rough part of the app, so we need to clean up the UI and some of the other details, plus make an admin panel and a few things that are on the back end. And once we do that, we'll roll out. By the end of the year, we'll have 1.2 rolled out, which is a prettier version, right? So in the next 30 days, we hope to roll out 1.2, which are some features that are making it a little bit easier, nicer colors, logos, those types of things updated, and a few little features. And then what we really were excited about is that this year we did a feature list for version 2, which will be probably February of 2026. And that's when, we'll have some customers already and we're going to launch the release of 2.0, which will be a little bit better experience. We're playing with models right now. So we're using ChatGPT as model number 1, but in version 2, we're probably going to switch to being able to say, what about Grok? What about Gemini? And so we're going to play with some of the different models that we're using for the software. The blog posts were something really important that we unlocked this week. We want to start seeding the SEO with about 30 or 40 blog posts that reference like why attorneys need it, why attorneys dealing with government entities to get documents is very difficult, how long are those wait times, how transparent are these government agencies, all this stuff we're going to start seeding SEO. We're also going to build a page on Reddit because ChatGPT uses Reddit to search the internet. It's important that you pop up on ChatGPT. And then we're also going to be expanding our document base from not only Miami-Dade documents, Broward documents, and Palm Beach documents, but also going to Orlando and Tampa, because the sooner we do that, the sooner we're going to be able to unlock attorneys and open our user base so that we can add attorneys in Orlando, which is about 500, and in Tampa, which is about another 500 attorneys. And so if we do this, we're basically doubling our total available market from just 700 private attorneys to probably another 1,000 private attorneys, so basically 1,700 in total that would be able to use our product. Now, that is a very small niche market, but again, we're very concentrated as a software, and this allows us to grow into a beautiful monetization roadmap within the next 6 to 12 months, right? That's probably what we're going to be focused on for the next 6 months of 2026. So we're expanding the user base to get ourselves more clients that are going to be able to use our product. These are the best things that we've got for this week. It's November 16th. We're halfway through November. The dev is working hard to bring everything from his local computer, where we already verified that everything's tested and working, to the cloud, so that we can actually have a Wi-Fi, a web page that works, www.flawfinder.ai. And so we're in the middle of the dark side, which is you've entered this period where you've invested a bunch of time, money, and energy. You don't have a working product yet, but we're not waiting around while this is happening, this migration and this cleanup. We're actually building out the stuff that helps you to grow as a company once this software is live and kicking ass. And that is that you want to have blog posts, you want to have presence, you want to basically have a very good monetization plan. That's what we're working on while the dev finishes it up. So that's the update for November 16th. Really excited about where I'm at with the app, and we're just going to keep grinding and building out the monetization, some of the features, and expanding the user base so that by December 1st, in about 14 days, we should have a working app deployed, ready to use, and put into beta so we can start testing it, and hopefully by the end of the year, start putting some attorneys on free trials. We'll catch you on the next one, and hopefully next week what we'll have is the app already on the servers, ready to use in ugly mode, right? And then it'll be another week until we polish it and clean it up. We'll catch you on the next one.